Hello there, it's Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I'm Jerry Usher along with Debbie Georgiani. And it is your show. You're going to drive another one today with your calls and your takes at 833-288-3986. Debbie, would that we were living a very long April Fool's joke that would end today, but unfortunately the reality in the world is still very, very dire in many places.
Absolutely. The pandemic is real and we're living in the midst of it. And, it's tough. It's tough. And people have, certain feelings and emotions that are welling up. And I know that people are not getting as much sleep, or maybe kind of a, not a restful night's sleep. And people are trying to figure out what should they take, should they take more vitamins? Should they do this or that? And there's so many things that are swirling around in our heads. And we want to ask you how you feel. So how are you managing life in the midst of this pandemic? And we'll ask you, put forth some questions, and if you can answer, you'll help others, and we can be together in this. Here is the number. Ryan is ready to answer your call at 833-288-3986.
Okay, you can also join us by text message. Text the letters EWTN to 55000. That might be a small data rate, so be aware of that. Also, you can post a comment at take2show.com and email us at take2@EWTN.com. But Debbie mentioned we'll throw a few thoughts out here to get the gears going in your mind, but you may already have something you'd like to share about how you personally and maybe your family are managing life right now. How has it changed for you? How is it maybe you think it's never going to go back to what it was 6 or 8 weeks ago. Are you able to work either at home or in the workplace? How do you feel about maybe wearing a mask in public?
Mm-hmm.
And what I really want to hear about, Debbie, is what does the shutdown or the lockdown or the stay-at-home orders mean to you? Because in many ways, it seems like life is going on as normal, at least where I live, Debbie. And so I'd like to hear what people, how they're interpreting and living out that stay-at-home order.
Yeah. Are you taking those orders seriously, or are you just, going to do what you want to do and you feel is best? And I know we had a couple of our listeners ask us to take on this topic and say, it'd be interesting to see why some people are still ignoring these orders. We could be harming other people by going out there. What you said about, do you wear a mask in public? I think that is the topic of everybody's discussions right now. I saw a bunch of stuff floating through social media saying, I'm thinking I'm going to because I think President Trump talked about putting a scarf around your mouth and nose, or even a bandana or something of that nature. So, let's talk about it. Where are you at? Okay. These are the conversations we like to have, because we do this together. And especially call in if you are completely alone through all this and you need someone to talk to. We're here. We want to be your friend. We're your family member here from the Take Two family. So please, here's the number. We're very friendly. Ryan is super friendly. In fact, sometimes I just call him just because he's so friendly. 833-288-3986. And Jerry, I just don't think it would be fun for me to play an April Fool's joke on you. So I'm going to pass for this year. I'll do one next year.
All right. Or maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. That's true.
This is really, it's a serious matter, and we're all missing many elements of our lives that have been kind of taken away from us. Obviously, the ability to attend Mass, our churches suspending Masses and being actually closed and locked up. We hope that changes soon. But I'd be curious to know, if anybody is like me, I miss going to the gym every day, So how are you remaining physically fit? How are you staying mentally and emotionally fit? Because Debbie, a lot of people are emotionally and psychologically, this is taking a toll on a lot of people.
Well, let me just tell you something that just came in via text. One of our listeners just sent this and said that on the New York now I didn't see this myself, but this is what they're saying, and they listen to the show and watch the news on a regular basis. New York news showing live footage of bulldozers taking bodies of dead corona victims out of the hospital and onto, this just breaks my heart, and onto large refrigerated trucks with people in full hazmat suits, and they're handling the bodies. That is so sad. I can't even describe, that seems like something out of a horror movie.
But I have to ask the question, why show that on TV?
That's what I don't understand. That's going to get into people's heads, and then they're going to. I
Well,
don't.
let's face it, the media, they want to sensationalize everything. They want to show the gory, the bloody, the macabre. And I don't know if we need to see that right now. I mean, we know it's happening. So maybe someone who's listening right now, if you've got a take on that, your thoughts on that, you can weigh in with that as well. It's just kind of a coronavirus check-in with you on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie today to see how you are doing overall. 833-288-3986.
And here's the other thing. There's young minds. There's young people picking up the news, and those images are going to be in their heads, and it can be very, very scary, very frightening, and it could take on levels that you don't see for years to come, because they could just harbor it and try to process it, and then later on, those fears could rise up. And I don't think sometimes the news, well, I know, sometimes I think the news is not very sensitive to where we're at in life. Sometimes I agree with you. I think sometimes it's, put it out there because it's going to draw attention and viewers. And that's not always, I think, the responsible thing to do. I know they've got to do their reporting job as well, but it's a tough situation.
It is. It is. We need to be kept abreast of what's going on, but also, I think, as Debbie, you were saying there, recognize people's sensibilities and kind of set some boundaries as to how much we show of this on TV. So, anyway, that's just one thing that you could raise here on the program. What about do you or have you or someone contracted the virus? Let us know how that has impacted your life. And if you have kids, how are you discussing this with your children? They're home from school, not home from school. Schools are closed, but they're schooling at home. But Debbie, I can just imagine the millions of parents who have had to field questions from their kids like, Mommy, Daddy, why did school close? Why are we home? Why can't we be with our friends? This is a real jolt to their system, I think.
Right. A lot of our listeners are weighing in right now based on those news reports that we just shared, and they're saying that they have a take on it. They think that they're showing it because people aren't taking this seriously. They're still gathering in parks and at houses, and it will spread like this, and we will see more dead bodies, and maybe that would convince people how serious it is. So that's our listeners weighing in. This is Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, 833-288-3986. How are you managing life in the midst of this pandemic?
Ever feel like life is just too busy, too much? Constant noise, social life, traffic, work, paying bills. It just doesn't seem to let up. Well, maybe it's time for a change. God offers us relief and hope. So if you're feeling like you need more peace and less chaos, then find your hope today. Begin at CatholicsComeHome.com.
Sacrifice is a profound virtue Catholics can lovingly embrace, especially during Lent. But this year, why not also indulge in something good for your soul? Give yourself the gift of EWTN's National Catholic Register and stay connected to the latest developments and historical traditions of our Catholic faith. Try the register for free today and get it delivered to your home, office, or parish. To get your 6 free issues, order online at ncregister.com/radio or call 800-421-3230 and mention code RADIO. The National Catholic Register. It's the one indulgence you won't ever want to give up. Order online today at ncregister.com/radio. The National Catholic Register. Read faithfully.
Good to have you with us today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We have David and Therese. We got Robert. We got Christine. We're going to get to your calls in a moment, and we do have an open phone line. We're checking in with you here today. How are you doing with all of this stuff that's going on? Do you think it's going to last longer than the additional 30 days that the president has called for? What about your local jurisdiction? Debbie, I think there's a lot of confusion, and we can talk about that in a minute. A lot of confusion about what we can and can't do because you're getting things from the federal government and then you're getting things from your state and so forth.
State. Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to mention, first of all, conversations with consequences, okay? This is a program. It's on Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time here on EWTN Radio on many of these same stations. And we need to have conversations with consequences these days. So we encourage you to tune in again Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay, we have a couple open. Well, now there's only one open phone line at 833-288-3986. Please jump on that line. We want to have a very robust discussion about this. And we're, like Jerry said, we're checking in on you to make sure you are okay and how you're managing life throughout this crisis that we're all facing in the world today. So let's talk about it. Let's hear what David has to say in Easton, Pennsylvania, Sirius XM 130. That's how you're listening, David, and welcome to Take Two.
Good morning, Debbie and Jerry. I love
Hi, David.
your program.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, David.
I'm a farmer, and the first way I start in the morning, of course, is with my morning rosary. And I like the virtues, faith, hope, and charity. So I ask first that the faith is there to keep a good attitude and be positive about what I'm doing. The hope is that everything that I do makes a difference in somebody's life. And then the charity is to find a way to be able to give something that I can give. But what I really called about, I'm a farmer. So the thing that people can do, and I noticed that you were talking about the stress levels climbing. Well, the easiest way there is to de-stress, and almost everybody in my family does this, we all garden. We take our kids out in the yard, we dig up the soil, we go buy some seeds, we start our plants on the windowsill, and we plant them and watch them grow. That's the hope part of it, because every year a farmer looks forward to the hope part of seeing a new year, even if last year was the crummiest year in the world. This year's a whole new year, and that's what Easter's all about. So I'm celebrating my Easter by planting my first cold crops, my lettuce, my cabbage, and all the things that I can put in early, my peas, my carrots and radishes. And it's great for kids to watch that stuff grow because it takes their mind off all this negative media that they're painting. This virus is serious. You can't take it lightly. But go outside. You get vitamin D free of charge. The Lord gives it to you every day. You take your vitamin C and then go get some physical exercise that'll absolutely wear you out so you sleep like a log when you go to bed at night. Then you'll be ready to do it the next morning again.
Great
That's
stuff,
my
David.
message.
Yeah, great stuff. Thanks for joining us with that. We appreciate that. It reminds me, Debbie knows I've been talking about starting a garden for forever. She's nodding her head in agreement. But
Forever.
Beautiful that you start your day with a rosary and you focus on the three theological virtues, faith, hope, and charity, all of which are needed in great supply these days. You know, I mentioned at the start of the show, my way of de-stressing typically has been to go to the gym, get a good swim or a little weight workout or something, spend some time in the steam room after that. That's closed down now. So, but I agree, David and Debbie, we need to have certain things that we're not going to forget completely about what's going on. It's always going to be sort of in the recesses of our mind. But if we can do things that sort of occupy our attention in the front of our minds, then there's no way that can't help.
Absolutely. And David, my husband and I are big gardeners. We absolutely love that idea of the anticipation of what's to come and the growth and looking ahead. And Jerry and I are very big on focusing on the future, not to get, to live in the present, to make the most of the present, but not to look too much in the rearview mirror, but to plan ahead and to dream big and to, live out, our purpose that we feel that God has instructed us to do and to be. And so I think that is really important that we do that. But see here, David, what's happening is I think folks, the news is, we have the connection with the TV or the internet or our cell phones, and so we're checking to see moment to moment what's happening because it's like this. We're in this mode of trying to make sure we get all our information and we're surviving, and so sometimes it's hard for people to look past that. They just want to kind of get through today. What can you speak about that, David? Because it seems like you've mastered it. You're looking ahead. You're anticipating, a good future. What could you say to others that are just kind of hunkering down and waiting it out minute by minute?
Well, I've been farming for 40 years. I'm 63. I absolutely love farming because, again, it's a renewal every spring, no matter what the winter brings, no matter what goes wrong the year before. I get my little packets of seeds out. I turn my dirt over, put my seeds in, and I can't wait for that 12, 14 days until little plants pop up out of the ground. And if kids want to look at something that'll give them a joy and a happiness, not only can they grow food for themselves, but they can share that food with their neighbors. That's the part of the giving part I like, because we participate on the farm with what they call second harvest. We sold what we can sold, during the year for the market. We open up the farm to let other people come in and pick off what we have that don't have the money to buy food.
Beautiful.
So you're basically giving somebody a chance to enjoy the work of somebody else and at the same time get good, healthy food. And we did war gardens. During World War II, my mother always talks about the victory gardens. That's why the whole family loves to do it. Because when we were kids, my mother kept doing that. She was born during the Great Depression. So she would go out and she'd plant her garden every year, and we'd do the flowers and all the things that made the yard look beautiful so that we were happy. And I think growing up in that environment, I never was stressed out as a kid, didn't care what my friends did that was nasty or mean, because I could go home and play in my garden. I became the melon king of Middletown, where we live. I used to grow melons all the time. I love watching melons grow.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That's the message, is get out in your yard and do something healthy. And then when you're done, share what you got in excess with your neighbor. Because if you plant 20 tomato plants, no family can eat more than 1 or 2 plants worth of tomatoes a day, or you'll turn into one. But you can grow carrots and radishes and lettuce and celery and all that other stuff is cool food. And it's all healthy, and you grow it yourself. And that's being a good steward of the earth. That's the commandment, to be a good steward.
Yeah, and I'm reminded of the scripture passage, David and Debbie, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains but a single grain. And that is what happens in the farming process. And I believe, in a sense, Debbie, that's what's happening to our world right now. The world has got to go through a cycle of dying a little bit right now, with, God willing, the hope of the future we can look ahead to, that there is going to be this new, the world's going to rise from this problem at some point. A lot of people are going to suffer and die, and that's horrible. But hopefully this cyclical thing with the pandemic too will see its way through and be gone, at some point.
Absolutely. David, thank you so much. And you'll be happy to hear that we're getting a lot of messages coming in. You have some fellow Take Two gardeners. They love to be out in their gardens, and they love to be out there in nature and doing something productive like that, and growing things for their family and for for others. So that should make you happy, David. Thank you so much. My grandmother used to love gardening, and she would pray the rosary. We would hear her praying the rosary. We'd come around the corner and we could hear her praying the rosary, and we knew she was in the garden. So she was in the garden, and she had a big statue of the Blessed Mother there that now my sister has. She got it. I didn't, because she was named after her. But anyway, it's a beautiful thing. So that's another way you can, pray and be out in nature and garden as well.
Well, I've got the statue of our Blessed Mother and the Sacred Heart out in the back, so I'm just missing the garden right now. So thanks again, David, for the call. David. Therese is next in Boston, listening on the Station of the Cross to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Hi, Therese. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. So I'm a nurse practitioner in an emergency room and just south of Boston. And last Monday, I found out that no priests or deacons, pastors, rabbis are allowed into any healthcare facilities because it puts them at risk. So then I just thought about, and the day before that, on Sunday, I had watched a priest walk down the hall with family members to a room where someone had just perished. So I was thinking, thank God that priest is here, and then the next day it was all cut off. So I was just thinking that I think in times like this we feel powerless, but as baptized Christians, we have the ability to pray for one another, and we can bring with that the power of God into the soul of another. So I was thinking, if we had across America, like people adopting healthcare facilities, nursing homes, even 2 people for a hospital, if they prayed together for the souls that would perish alone, the St. Joseph Memorare, or even just a Hail Mary, you feel powerful and you feel useful, and it could save souls. St. Therese of Lisieux prayed from a distance for souls that were about to go to the guillotine or be hanged, and and they converted on the spot. So we don't know what our prayers are going to do. We'll never meet the people we pray for, but that's not what it's about. It's about just putting our efforts into having souls feel that peace and love at the time of their death.
Right, right. Well, Therese, first, I just want to say thank you so much for the work that you do. You are on the front lines, and we are praying for you and all the doctors and the first responders and everybody who's there with the initial contact with people that are coming into hospitals. So thank you for the work you do. We're praying for you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. If I may, just a little tiny correction. You said we may not meet the people that we pray for. That's here. We may not meet them here.
That's
right.
Yeah.
I do believe the good Lord is going to let us have a joyous reunion of all the people that we have helped that we didn't get to meet here. That's my personal belief. But Therese, I agree with you, and I think that the Chaplet of Divine Mercy is very, very powerful. And when it's said in groups and for a certain purpose, like you were saying, like people who are in the hospital or designated for a certain nursing home or assisted living, or the protection and the St. Michael prayer. There's so many prayers that carry with it so many graces and blessings for those that are praying and for those that they are praying for. And I agree with you. And I think that's a good use of our time, a great use of our time. So if we're, instead of turning on, trying to get the latest news, if we're in our homes and we have that precious time, maybe picking up the phone and calling a few friends and seeing if we can join together in prayer and designate it. And I believe the good Lord, grants that because he knows the predicament we're in, and he sees what's happening, and he loves each and every one of us immensely. So I think he would delight in that. What do you think, Jerry?
I can't add much to that. I think, obviously we have countless people trying to fight to find a vaccine, a treatment, a cure, to lower the curve, as they say, to bring this thing to where it's hopefully, God willing, the majority of the really terrible stuff is behind us as soon as possible. But at a time like this, Therese, I'm so glad you brought this up, because sometimes we feel like, all I can bring to this is prayer. But that's the most important thing we can do. And I'm reminded, as you were talking, Therese, of, the people who picket and protest and pray outside of abortion clinics, and how many of those have been closed simply because of the silent presence and the prayer. So right on, Therese. Great point. Well, anything else you want to bring to the program?
So just a couple of health tips. I just wanted to say the reason why we need sleep is because growth hormone is released during sleep, especially deep sleep, and it repairs the body from the damage that's happened during the day. So sleep is important. Vitamin C, like 1,000 milligrams a day. Elderberry capsules and vitamin C both prevent the virus from sticking to our cells to replicate. And the virus can hang in the back of the throat for up to 4 days. So you get exposed and then you start to get a scratchy throat. Just gargle with salt water every night and take a little apple cider vinegar and water, like a tablespoon or two, and it will eradicate that virus. So these are just preventative things. And eat well, low sugar. Viruses love sugar. So you may find that when you're coming down with a cold, you crave sugar. So high protein, low sugar, exercise, and stay away from people in general. It's sad, but when you're walking down the street, say hi to each other. You don't have to look at the ground when you walk by one another.
Right, right. You can
Hi.
smile with your eyes. Yeah.
Smile, and even across the street, give a wave. Everybody's driving like their eyes straight ahead, and we're all isolating. We're already an isolated society, and I don't think that's
right.
I mean, the human person needs community,
Right.
and so I believe in all that.
Therese, I just want to say this, and I don't disagree with you, because you're a nurse and you have that you have your specialty in your training. I just recently read in one of the magazines that came across my desk that it's funny that you said elderberry, because I used to always take that and it said this particular virus, there's a problem with the elderberry. So I didn't know if you did any research on that. Since I saw that one article, I would just caution folks to just maybe research that. I just saw it at Therese, and I actually pulled it off my regimen because I read that newest article. So I wasn't quite sure. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I just have, all these reports are coming out. And I heard about the vitamin C. Some are saying it's great, and that's wonderful. But this one thing about elderberry just kind of stuck out. So I just wanted to have folks do their research on it.
Well, yeah, thank you, Therese. We appreciate your call. We're getting close to a quick pause here to let our local affiliates do some information on their end. Thank you so much, Therese in Boston. Again,
yes,
we pray for you.
Work.
Thank you for what you're doing. And all who are treating patients and on the front lines and looking for a cure and a treatment and a vaccine. And again, the best thing we can do is pray. Let's all be on our knees, fervently asking God to be with us during this difficult time.
Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers.
When we do this kind of work, we're not afraid to talk about our faith, no matter who we are out there. People are going to call you names. And the reason why they do that is they want you so caught up in the emotion that you don't think. And we're a thinking church.
The leading Catholic voices are on EWTN Radio.
Hey Alexa, how many ways can I get EWTN?
You can get EWTN on television, via cable and satellite, on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, and Google Play. You can get EWTN Radio in your car on Sirius XM Channel 130 and on the go on any mobile device with the EWTN app. And here's the best news. Now you can get EWTN's great programming on Me.
And now, the EWTN Family Prayer with Father Joseph.
Family, a prayer that we pray together is a powerful prayer. So please pray together with me our EWTN Family Prayer. Today we pray for women considering abortion. Heavenly Father, we worship you. You love the thought of each one of us and wanted us to exist. And so you knit us together in our mother's wombs. Share your love with those mothers who are considering aborting their unborn children. Dispel their fears, free them from pressuring boyfriends or parents, and give them joy in their motherhood. Spare them, Lord, from a life of regret, so that they may enjoy the satisfaction of a motherhood lived in love. Amen.
Tomorrow on More to Life, be not afraid.
We'll help you come against the stress, worry, and anxiety that's holding you back.
Now back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN. Thanks to the show team, Jeff, Michael, Ryan is on the phones. Thank you, affiliates, for carrying the program. We appreciate that so very much. Checking in with you on how you're managing these days with the pandemic still raging in many places and all the predictions of how it's going to get much worse before it gets better. We hope it'll get better soon, please God. We have another Therese, Debbie, watching the video feed on Facebook. And Therese says, I feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place. I work in a government job under the FEMA umbrella at the county level. We have to work, and there are many people, 15 to 20, in and out of the office daily. We take our temperature twice daily. I think it's just a matter of time before someone tests positive for the virus, leaving everyone at risk. Praying, washing my hands all the time. God bless the world. And that's from Therese on Facebook.
I love the name Therese. I just love Saint Therese of Lisieux. You guys are so lucky who are named Therese. You got a great saint, and she's very active, very, very active. Okay, we have a couple open phone lines. Please jump on those lines right now. Ryan's waiting to pick up your call at 833-288-3986, and we want to just check in with you to see how you're managing life during this pandemic. Okay, let's hear what Gloria has to say in Youngstown, Ohio. Living Bread Radio, you're a first-time caller. Hi, Gloria. Welcome.
Hi, Debbie and Jerry.
Hi there.
I'm so happy I got through to you. And I just want to tell you I love your show, and I thank God you guys are on.
Thank you. I'm glad you're there, Gloria.
Thank you. And I just want to say that I have so much to say, and I hope I can get it all in. I saw where these people were the bodies were being put into refrigeration, and I want to say, please pick up your rosary, everyone, and pray for them. They need your prayers. They need a divine mercy, and that's what we all have to do now. I did a cenacle for over 21 years, and I still was doing it until the church is closed, and I had to stop doing it. But I'm doing it here at my home, and I don't stop saying a rosary, and I pray for these poor people because there's no one there to be with them when they're dying, and it could be one of our loved ones. We never know. Just don't, please, everyone, take that rosary and start praying. And also, please, if everyone can hear me, I have a daughter, Regina, who was named after the Blessed Mother, and she really needs prayers.
Oh, well, for sure,
She's
Gloria.
by herself. Pardon me?
No, I said for sure you can count on the prayers, but go ahead.
Oh,
You're going to add
sure. Her
something.
name is Regina. She's got 5 boys, and her husband somehow was taken in by alcohol, and he left her. It's a year and a half, and she truly needs everyone's prayers because she's really hurting, but I know with the rosary and with God's help and with everyone's prayers, she'll make it with her 5 boys. Her husband I think, like they said, the devil would come into your home, and I really believe that's true because he was always a good man. He was a good provider, a good father, and then all of a sudden he started drinking. And please, don't drink. If you drink, get help because the little ones are the ones that are suffering. Please, everyone, listen to me because we know what we're going through.
Well, and you mentioned Regina is named after the Blessed Mother, so there couldn't be more powerful heavenly intercession than our Blessed Mother, and of course Saint Joseph and all the other saints and angels as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right, Gloria. We need to pray for those who are dying. I mean, we're in a situation now. We've talked about this, Debbie, where priests are not, in most cases, not able to get in to see the patients, even those who are dying, if I understand that right. So they cannot avail themselves of the Last Sacrament. So we might be the only one who's praying for these people as they're getting sick and passing away. Now we know the Church can provide in cases such as this if someone wanted to receive the sacrament and due to these extreme reasons could not, then the Church would supply the grace in those instances, I would hope and pray. But it's still so important that we pray for all of those who are suffering.
Yeah, absolutely. And really have an interior conversion, Gloria. I think that's what you're also sharing with us, that we take it very, seriously and make those necessary changes along with prayer so that this can continue on, that we're just not, falling on our knees right now, and then we get back up running off and going on our merry way. This really requires, this is an opportunity for all of us to make some really huge spiritual changes in our lives that can help us for all of eternity. I think, and we're praying, Gloria, for you. So I put you and your whole family, your daughter, everybody in the book. So please be comforted by that, knowing that the Take Two family is surrounding you in prayer. Okay.
And could you please pray for her husband, Ed, because Ed at one time was a very good father and husband, and alcohol just took over his whole body. He lost his job. He lost everything. So you know what? Just it's bad, and you know what? He can come back. I believe. I am praying for him. I'm doing also Mary Undoer of Knots also.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say, Gloria, he still has his dignity, his self-worth, created in the image and likeness of God, as you just alluded to. And the saying goes, every sinner has a past. What is it, Debbie? Every saint has a past. Every sinner has a future. Mm-hmm. So, never, ever can we give up on anybody. And we will not give up on Ed, Gloria, and we'll pray for Regina as well fervently every day.
Thank you. And all of her boys, her sons.
Okay, yeah.
And you know what? These children, God bless them, they were born because they wanted them, because Regina has a hypernemesis gravidarum. I don't know if you folks know about it, but it's a sickness when you're pregnant that it's just like a virus. You're always sick, and you just most of the time she had to stay in bed. And Ed was a good father then. He was a very good father. That's why I say after all these years, it's 20-some years, I can't believe this is going on.
Right.
It just breaks my heart. My heart is breaking. But I know that Blessed Mother will help us. She will.
Yes.
And thank you. God bless you, because I love you guys. And keep up the good work. That's all I can say. And everyone, please pray for these poor people that are dying, because they need your prayers and they need the divine mercy. Please. I beg you.
We agree. We agree. Gloria, we love you too. We're sending you virtual hugs, but they're powerful because we're sending them from our heart to yours, okay?
Thank you, Gloria. We have an open phone line as we check in with you on how you and your family, your loved ones, friends, neighbors, coworkers are doing, managing during this pandemic. 833-288-3986. Debbie,
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
I'm getting flooded. I'm getting flooded with people are sending things as fast as they possibly can. So let me just rewind just so everybody's clear where our come from is. Therese, beautiful lady. She's a nurse practitioner in the emergency rooms of a hospital. And she gave some great advice on how to build your immunity and boost your immunity. And everybody knows I'm all about supplements and vitamins. I'm all about that, folks. All I'm saying is just please do your research based on for your own body composition and what you're dealing with and everything, and maybe check with some of your doctors or nutritionists or anybody you rely on to help you with your supplements before you do anything. Just because, when you put it out over the airwaves, you don't want to, say, blanket that it's for everyone, and it may not be for certain people. So that's all I'm saying. But I'm not saying I disagree with our wonderful previous caller. I'm all about building the immunity, folks. But just do your research.
Okay, thanks. And thanks again, Therese, for your call. Joanne sent this email to take2@ewtn.com. Hi, unfortunately, what the text you received said is correct. My son and daughter live in New York, and my son said last week that he saw refrigerator trucks that were there for that purpose, for placing the dead bodies into. I was pretty struck by that, but it really made me think. I hope, if nothing else, it does bring it home to people that this is very serious. Praying for an end to this. God bless you. And that's from Joanne.
Wow. This is tough. This is a really tough time we're living in, folks. Okay, Christine is up next in North Dakota. Real Presence Radio is a first-time caller. Hi, Christine. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, Christine.
I'm glad you... Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Just fine.
Hello?
Yep.
Okay. I'm a truck driver, and like I was telling you earlier, it's too bad the younger folks doesn't take it serious, and they say it doesn't pertain to them. And I'm a truck driver, and I drive every day, and I deliver groceries to all the Walmart stores. And I'm alone by myself all the time, and I pray every day, that I can go another day and another day. So, praying is good for your soul. And I just, wanted to say, I just wish these people would listen more and how dangerous this virus is. Because I'm 63 years old and I got asthma, so I'm double jeopardy. I wear a mask, I wear gloves every time I go into these Walmart docking areas to have them unload the groceries. And people hoarding all this and not leaving anything for the elderly people, that gets me frustrated. It took me a while to find hand sanitizer and toilet paper and stuff. And up here, they're giving Tuesday mornings for the elderly at 6 a.m. to 7 before they open up to the public to get a chance to get in there and get stuff that they need. It's too bad not all places are like that.
Well, a lot of places are, Christine. Like you said, not all places are like that, but I know Costco is like that, and local grocery stores where I live are giving seniors a chance to come in and shop just for a certain age group before they open up for regular business hours. But what you're talking about is really, it is a serious problem. People who aren't taking this seriously and are still going out in the public, being around other people, gatherings. We saw this over spring break on the beaches in Florida. And Christine and Debbie, I think this touches upon a deeper problem. We have a society, a culture that says me first right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard. It's difficult for some of us to wrap our minds around being a gift of ourselves to other people. Selflessness, which is, I think, needed in much greater supply these days.
Well, and we definitely should be practicing that right now. I can't talk today. I don't know why. But Christine, you said that you have asthma, but you are doing the precautions to try and create a barrier so that you don't get exposed to things. I'm just going to pray. I'm going to pray, and please, folks at the Take Two family, join me in this prayer for all of our truck drivers, that they can stay safe throughout this. I mean, that just really bothered me when you said that, you have asthma. And so now you're already, you're trying to do your work and you're trying to stay safe, and you've already, have this that is in the back of your mind, that you're already going into your work with this understanding of what you're dealing with already. That's got to be an added stress. And so my heart goes out to you. I keep up the strength. We'll keep up the prayers, and maybe that'll give you some extra strength, Christine.
I appreciate that, because I am very scared of that coronavirus.
Yeah, I can just imagine. But here's the other thing too. Your guardian angel is right next to you. Your guardian angel is your soul guard and your bodyguard. And so I would encourage you to continue to pray to your guardian angel, talk with your guardian angel, so that that they can help you also relieve some of those fears, that because you're dealing with them on a constant basis because you're working in the environment. So my heart just breaks for you. But prayers work, Christine, and that's important. You got to hold on to that. And if you can take some comfort from that, and with your guardian angel, maybe that'll give you a little extra boost there.
And I keep praying every day and every night that I last through the night and I make it to another day. And God bless everybody out there, and I wish they would take it so serious, especially the young ones.
Right. Well, Christine, we can't thank you enough for what you do. Debbie has already said thank you to the truck drivers and those who bring the toilet paper that we all hoard to Walmart and other places. So you're doing an unbelievable thing right now, because certain things are in short supply. Even things that aren't in short supply have to be brought by truck to our stores and so forth, so that we can slip out of the house and get some groceries every now and then. So thank you, Christine. God bless you, from Linton, North Dakota. Beautiful heart, beautiful phone call, Deb.
Absolutely. Christine, God bless you. Just always remember your guardian angels, folks. And we're going to actually be doing a talk on that today to I believe, junior high school age, Jerry?
Yeah, youth group, yeah.
I know.
Virtual conference for some youth.
Right. So hopefully more folks will be, developing their relationship with their guardian angels. Thank you, Christine. Who's up next?
Well, I want to mention before we go to the next call that EWTN Radio is available on a number of audio platforms, things like Amazon Echo. You can listen to EWTN Radio just by saying, Alexa, ask EWTN to play Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, or insert the name of your favorite show. So you can go to get your Amazon smart speakers and listen to EWTN.
Okay. Christine, if you're still listening, the Take Two family is already weighing in and saying they are tucking you into their rosary today. So everybody you see how the Take Two family, this is so beautiful. Prayers are already heading your way, Christine. Okay, Linda in Hamburg, New Jersey, you're up next. Sirius XM 130. That's the way you're listening. Welcome to Take Two.
Thank you. Thank you for taking my call. Really appreciate your show and appreciate your reaching out to so many people who are literally homebound right now. Just wanted to share two thoughts. Can you hear me okay?
Just fine, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of your callers had some beautiful things to say about farming and being out in the open, and many of us are in an exact opposite situation, living in townhome communities, places where we don't really own land per se, and you can't go out your door without colliding with a neighbor. That is a form of isolation in itself. So we don't have that particular freedom. I'm glad for him that he does. And also, those of us who are at home like this, I work from home, been working from home for 5.5 years, grateful that I still have a job because of that. That is a very, very isolating kind of situation. It isn't all it's cracked up to be working from home. And my social contact is, I'm able to go to daily mass in the morning, see my parish family, speak with my pastor or a parochial vicar. Those are great gifts to me, and those have been taken away temporarily. This is very, very hard on people. But I'd really like to encourage everybody to practice what we hear at Mass, practice what we preach, live the gospel. Pick up the phone, please. Could you call somebody you don't usually call just to say hi? I can tell you firsthand it means a whole lot. And I know who my friends are in general, but you really know who your Christian friends are when you get that text and the phone call saying, hey, what's happening? It's just human contact. So please think about that and do that. And my other thought is that I love the saints, and I happen to know a little bit about Aloysius Gonzaga. Maybe some people do, some people don't. He was a very young man, Jesuit, I believe, who died during the plague. He was ordained, and he made a choice to go and minister to people dying of the plague, and of course he died of it himself. So think about, really think about our martyrs. Think about what they did for the faith. Nobody's asking you to go out and inhale coronavirus and die. But think about what you could offer and give up for the faith. And then maybe lastly, I wonder if this isn't all because God sees what we're doing. He sees the lack of reverence in the churches. He sees our dwindling participation. And just maybe this will wake some people up and have them realize, especially cradle Catholics who no longer practice, make them realize the great gifts that we have been given by God. That's really all I have to say.
Wow, that is a lot. Beautiful, insightful, and impactful, Linda. Thank you so much. And as you were just at the end of what you were saying about the lack of fervor, and maybe this is going to increase our desire for the Eucharist. That's my prayer. I know it's Debbie's prayer. I'm reminded, Debbie, of I think he was before he was Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI. When he was, Cardinal Ratzinger, I believe it was them. He talked about the future of the church was going to be very vibrant, but a remnant church, a much smaller church. And I've always thought, well, how is that going to come about? And what we're seeing right now, I'm not saying that this is, precipitating that, but we're going to see. I'm afraid that we're going to see. Obviously, we're going to see a lot of, hopefully us, I include us in that we're going to be very, very zealous and fervent to get back to the sacraments. But I'm afraid, Debbie, that some people are going to maybe fall out of the habit, out of the practice, and what's going to happen to them spiritually. I just wonder about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily go along with the feeling that God, caused this in order to teach us, some kind of lesson. But God will use, pretty much everything we experience to get our attention and for our good and for our benefit. And so I think that's why I was saying, let's get, really do an inventory of what's going on with ourselves and how we are conducting our lives and our spirituality, and get reprioritize and focus again on God and see how that gets us through this, and if anything, it's, it's going to strengthen your spirituality and your ability to deal with anything, even if it is, having to, possibly get the coronavirus. So you see what I'm saying? So it's important that I think we all take that time and really look deep inside. So Linda, thank you so much for calling in and sharing. We really appreciate it. This is a hard topic to tackle, but we're doing it together. I mean, everybody's got different feelings about it, different viewpoints. But the conversation is a good one. So thank you so much, Linda. We really, really appreciate it. Jerry?
Okay, we're going to go.
She got one more thing.
Okay.
Sorry?
Go ahead,
still
Linda.
there, Linda, or were you done, or did you have some?
Yeah, just really, really quickly, just to remember our priests in our prayers. I've only had opportunity to talk to two of them. We are suffering from deprivation of the sacraments. I believe they are suffering greatly from deprivation of the ministry that they were called to. I know priests who have parishioners dying who cannot give them a funeral mass, who cannot have the family at the graveside. And so I just pray that they will continue to be lifted up. And St. Joseph, pray for all of us and our church.
Amen.
Amen.
We're with you on that, Linda. Thank you so very much. We're going to get quickly to Tay, who is in Jackson, Michigan, listening on Good Shepherd Catholic Radio and a first-time caller. Hi, Tay. Welcome to Take Two.
How you doing, guys?
Hanging in there.
We're
How
hanging
are
in there,
you?
Tay. Hope you're doing well.
I'm all right. Every day is a blessing.
Praise God.
I am calling today, a first timer, a little nervous. I just wanted to give some feedback. What I'm going through, being a single mother, and I have a household of 7 altogether. I have 6 minor children, 3 of my own, and 3 of my sisters who is currently incarcerated. And I've been taking care of them for over 6 months, I would say. And currently, I'm homeless at the time, and I just want to talk about the ones that are out here with nowhere to go. And I'm 23, and I'm into the generation, we on our phones, Facebook is the deal, you got everything going on. And I see so many people tell people, that, people need to stay inside or, can't be around, and you got to think about the people who don't have nowhere to go. Like, I was blessed 2.5 months ago to walk into the shelter, and they took me and my children in, and it's been a struggle for them because they had to shut their facility down and guide other people to other places to stay, and that's so much untold because me, when school was open, I was up. I'm an early bird. I'm moving around, having to get kids where I need to go, but just to think about, we don't have no home at the end of the day, so we're moving around all throughout the day. That's what people who are in this situation do. We move around because we don't try to sit ourselves and get into a mindset that will put us down. There's already enough going on in the world, and it's now that this is going on, it's even more. And now you got everyone looking at like, oh, well, why are these people out here, or why are they there? You got to think about the ones that already are penny pensioned. We're the ones who don't even have money to even stack up on things. It's just right now I don't have no money. I'm blessed to the schools that are serving lunches that I get to go each day to help and feed my children because it is a struggle already, and you get these ones who it just gets the ones who forget that. They forget about what was already there in the world and going on. And yes, it's a lot of deaths going on. And you got to think about how that's affecting the ones who can't afford health care, who can't go, who never had that. It's already a struggle. I'm young. I was the only one in the shelter. I'm the youngest one currently who was living in the shelter, and I have the most kids. And I am blessed that I carry myself well, that I keep it going. I have not let anything get to me because I know that my faith is high and that one day I will be comfortable and I will be set and my kids will grow up comfortable and safe, and I have my higher faith that we will pass through this. We just have to work as a community. We don't have, in this generation where I'm from, the community it's not a community no more. We only come together when there's death of, my young generation of shootings and stuff like that. We have to come together as a legit community to talk about, to help.
Just for the sake of time, Tay, I wish we could talk with you more. I really do. Please feel free if you have somewhere where you can go to get access to a computer. Maybe you don't have that access right now, but if you do, take 2 at EWTN.com. But God bless you for taking in your sister's children. And like you said, for carrying yourself the way you do. We respect you so much.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure the people that you're encountering in life do as well. God is going to look kindly upon what you're going through right now and the charity, Tay, in your heart to take care of these 6 beautiful kids and lead them through this horrible pandemic.
Okay, folks, be well, stay safe, and we'll talk to you real soon. God bless.
You've heard of the incredible shrinking